All right, today was a big day. I don't usually sweat through all my clothes on in this cold ass refrigerator of a shop with big, thick cement walls and tall ceiling. This place is always way colder than it's outside. I just open the door to warm it up instead of it freeze me out. But I got these giant new mats. Today was the last day of the Sunday Salvage Sales. They're planning on moving it to the shop and blah blah blah, and maybe they'll have it again. Maybe it'll be the same. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe it'll be better. Maybe it'll be worse. It was really the last day, and they had all these giant mats there for the whole floor, and they were so nice, and they gave me a thinner roll of one that I've been using. It's been so nice. So today he asked if I wanted these mats, and I said yes. I took 3. I really could have fit 4. I really might go back and ask for 3 more if there's a bunch left. Some other guys took a few. There might be more left. Redo this thinner one with 2 more of these and use the thinner one along the long wall of the shop. There's a big enough gap to do it. And then put 2 more of these big thick boys up here, 1 more over here. So I took some pictures. Hopefully some of them turned out what the shop looks like. These things were, I don't know, they had to be at least 100 pounds each and very awkward. It was almost impossible to get them in the car with 3 guys, get them out by myself. Sort of folded them up and bear hug them and hold them against my body and walked in here. I had to move everything in the shop out of the way and sweep the whole shop. But the shop's opening up. I got rid of this free shop table stand I thought I could use and couldn't. It's been in the way forever. I gotta get rid of these fenders. They're just in the way. I'm gonna hang them off this door somehow. That seems sketchy. That'd be great. Gotta get rid of these fenders. Could make some pegboard fake doors to go over the girls' storage stuff in the back corner. I can still access it and get the fenders up and out of the way. Think of something. Got a little piece of pegboard over here with some junk on it. I could put at least the new honchos on there. Get rid of most of the rest of it. I got some little tubs that are in the way. I broke them down so I can try and fit them under this bench. This bench is designed just wrong. This bench is designed so wrong. I wish I would have built my own benches, but this made it like a week or 2 faster. So that was cool. Old Amelia from the bike farm put this really beater needle-bearing headset with like a cracked crown race that may or may not be fine. Super beater up on Craigslist like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, dude, I want it. It's $10. I love needle-bearing junk. I love beater junk. I love nice junk. So Amelia was finally back in town and brought it. So I grabbed that today. I skipped the bike farm. I didn't have time. We did the Sunday Salvage. I got the 3 big mats and these 2 things, the bag and this box. And then I ran over to Ira Ryan, who's a really cool frame builder who's been here. The day I finished frame building school in 2010, he was having a garage sale at his shop, and I went over and met him back then. And his shop was, I think he started in 2005 or 6, so he was already going for 4 or 5 years and already building more frames than I ever have. Him and Tony Pereira, who's another really famous frame builder from here, they started Breadwinner Cycles, and he got out of Breadwinner Cycles a year or 2 ago, and Tony's been doing it by himself. But Ira had these cool dropouts. I think I took pictures of these. It's cool dropouts. They're like laser cut or water jet cut or something, steel. They're thick without being too thick. And then he had stainless faces cut for them. So you braze these into the bike where you want them, and then you can braze on stainless face to give it that thicker, machined, cool look. I talked him into selling me a set of these, and they're going to make a big batch of these and start selling frame builder supplies. So I'm excited. If I like them, I should be able to get lots more of them in the future. They are not inexpensive. Ira charged me $45 for them. They've already been drilled and tapped. Normal dropouts are $5 or $10. But these are nicer and cooler. Look at this big window. I don't know. It's cool. It's big. I have no idea how it's going to work with an ISO disc tab, which I plan on putting on my bike. So I might hold it up and play with that for a minute, make sure it's not in the way, there's not serious issues. Cool. They also gave me this patch. Let's say I got from Salvage Sales. They brought out a lot. They're moving in the middle, packing stuff up. They brought some stuff from the old eBay room. They brought tons of stuff, and they're all mad. I was digging through it. You can't have it all. I'm like, well, I'm taking it. So you gotta pay real money. I'm like, I won't. In the end, I didn't. And then I paid $50 for all this junk. This is my favorite score. So I got, when this guy put all his eBay stuff out in the front yard and he gave up, I went and got cases of his Modolo brake levers. I've sold one set, the old stock on eBay. The CCC got cases of these Modolo Flash, which are the cheaper, lower end brakes. Got the cool Modolo pads, like cork pads or something crazy. Modolo Flash. I had a case of these. I grabbed one set. I put on eBay, see if anyone cares. I doubt they will. There was a bunch of new cable kits in the top. The kid beat me to it. He grabbed a couple. I just took this entire bin because it is full of probably some new. This is definitely used tram thing. That's a new shifty cable. Here's a whole wound wrap of new brake cables. They say Campy on them. If you guys didn't know, most 80s and 90s and newer Campy stuff all has a slightly undersized head for their shift cable and their brake cables. So if you try and stick a regular Shimano or SRAM cable in, it will stick in place and freeze, and you may never get it out. So you really need Campy cables. That's amazing. Campy stuff's also more expensive. This all looks stainless, which is good. I really don't use galvanized. I don't recommend you do it either. This is new. A couple more new road things. They look small, but can be Campy too. Sunlight, inner gear wire, brand new in the bag. It's got the little round head and a little small. Sometimes this round head fits a lot of old French stuff. You can grind it down to fit weird French stuff. There's a few of these in here. This is some weird shift cable with a really weird long head. I have no idea what that's for. Another brand new brake cable. More weird brake or shift. So weird. But this stuff's all new. This stuff all looks like it was stuff that was donated from other shops. So there's Sunlight one looks galvanized. This all looks like when REI went out of business because the crime and bullshit in Portland is so bad. And every time you mention that, everyone goes, "Stop watching Fox News." Dude, I've never watched Fox News in my life. I'm just watching all the businesses close around me and all the homeless camps piled up and all the crime. Go crazy. Go Portland. Here's a brand new roll of shift housing. Brand new. This one's used. I'm just not saving used stuff anymore. Even if it's kind of nice, it's always going to be too short. It'll be a crimp in it somewhere. I was doing that for a little while when I first started, so I didn't have any new stuff. I didn't want to buy new stuff. Another double-sided one. A couple more brand new stainless. Campy. Campy stuff. Used cable. Two more brand new tandem road. So extra super long premium brake inner new stainless rustless Jaguar tandem. That's great. Sometimes the regular ones won't work on disc brake bikes because the rear brake unit stopping at the top of your wheel stops way down by your derailleur. So sometimes you'll have to use the tandem ones or an extra long one if you can find it for disc brake bikes. So it's good to have a couple. Another new Sunlight thing, another new set of shift housing, another brand new S label cable. I don't know what that is. Bone Trainer brake cable, inner defirm comp stainless, 2750. Independence is extra long. Set of brand new stainless shift cables, and one more reusable bead tie. If you guys don't have these things are great. They're like a zip tie. Pop it into place, and then instead of cutting it and throwing it away, you can just reuse it. I used to buy these by the hundreds off of eBay, one of my old shops, but now I mostly just collect them all like used parts I get at CCC. It's been plenty for me. I might take them back this tub if they want it. This is why I'm breaking down these Sterilite bins. It's because the cables are just a mess. They're in a bike basket, they're in boxes. I'm going to go through and see if I can organize and label them some. So I might do that today. But first, let's look at the fine bag of weirdness I got. So they got a couple cases of Chinelli bar tape from the guy. It's all kind of new old stock, so I doubt the sticky stuff sticks very well, but Chinelli never really sticks. And I don't really like Chinelli or use it very often because it's so fine. I like to wrap my bars pretty tight so it doesn't move and make gaps in between the tape where your hands are always at. And it's really easy to tear the Chinelli tape. But it's salvage. He was going to charge me 40, 50 bucks for this bag no matter what, so grab some. Here's a real ugly color no one ever used, like a red, orange, and yellow and purple. Got it. Here's a real ugly one, stripes, red, yellow, and blue. Whew. Here's a good one, like a black cow splash. Got it. Here is a cool one. This is a really cool, this stuff actually used to be kind of desirable for collectors on vintage bikes for a minute. Pelton shade, so it's stippled, so it changes color as it goes down. So it starts as white and then more and more red dots till it's pure red. So this one is red with white ink, it looks like. It's really cool. I never do drop bar bikes for myself anymore, but I do with customers once in a while. Here's a couple of cool vintage Shelly red tape with like bright silver, almost chrome stippling on it. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. It's cool. Grab those. Grabbed a Ziploc bag full of bar end plugs. There's some old metal, kind of rusty ones with campy stickers. There's like 2 sets of those. DP, lots of Chinelli. I got too many bar end plugs. I don't know what I'm doing. I just couldn't help myself. There's some of the cool old metal round dome cheapy ones. Pop into bars. Found 3 sparkles, but I did not find the matchers. But whatever, one's like a clear sparkle, one's a silver sparkle, one's a blue sparkle with race flags on it. Just like cheapy old vintagey bar plugs that are cool. One really vintage roll. Made in Leicestershire, England, adhesive. It's like black cloth tape. I don't really use vintagey tape on bikes, so I don't trust it, but I use it on tool handles. I use it to wrap around like where your pannier is going to clip on, and stuff like that sometimes. This is one of my favorite ones. It's a Reg, new old stock pump peg. So it's clamp on, goes around your tubes and clamps on, and then it's got these little cutout pump pegs that pinch in between the bolt and hold on. This is cool. This is cool. I mean, I wish they were for seat stays or whatever, but you know, it's for like a seat tube or a down tube on a vintagey bike. I don't know. I think this is extra neat. Another cycle magnet to pop right out of my wheel trimming stand. One little bag of used campy umbrella pegs. So I got a whole bunch of these from a swap meet for super cheap. I have them up on eBay. No one has bought any. No one cares anymore. But I still couldn't help myself. So these, I mean, it's hard to tell if they're new or used. Oh, this one's just, oh no, it's got the Campy logo on the inside. I remember them having the Campy logo on the outside. That is weird. The Campy logo's on the inside where you'll never see it. These all like that? No, the rest will have it on the outside. They must have stamped the logo on first before throwing it into the die to be stamped or something. That's weird and cool. 1, 2, 3. So 4 of these. One of them's missing the bolt. 2 of them are missing the bolt. I don't know. They're not worth anything. They're cool. Maybe someday I'll figure out something cool to do with them. One set of Campagnolo dent-in like Novo record shifters that are most likely missing parts. Oh wait. No, both flat washers, both concave washers, both backs. Both nuts and washers. Oh, these are one complete set of Campy Nova record shifters for Brazon. I don't like these shifters. This is the only thing Campy made that I don't like back in the day. They slip. I'm too heavy. If your frame's flexy, it'll pull your shifter. They just don't have enough friction. You can do stuff like put a little star washer under the head of the bolt. Put a little blue Loctite on there. This can help a lot. But I always switch this stuff out for retro friction shifters, which I did get some in here. Excited to see. Here is a set of slightly scruffy vintage Shimano 600 brakes. They have the ferrules, they have the clamps, they have the original hoods, even though they're starting to get pretty dried and cracked out. But I bet I'll be able to sell these pretty easy on the eBay. Whew. Whew. Here is a matching set of Campy levers. They're fairly scruffy and no hoods, but everyone in the world remakes hoods for them. But they're all complete. The clamps, little scruffies. I still bet I'll get if these had even like crappy hoods, I have crappy hoods, like gun hoods that don't fit at all, I usually get 65 or 70 for them. So that's hot. Another campy lever. I don't know if there's a match for it. One single bar end plug. This is a lot of bit of stuff that was for the eBay room. Here is an entire bag, all wrapped up of Modolo, says SHIT on it, okay, of Modolo brake levers, or brake hoods. Oh, maybe it says shit because they're new old stock, but maybe they're tearing really easy when you try to install them or something. Oh yeah, torn. So they all have tears in them. It's a shame, these Modolo hoods are actually really nice. They have like a little ergo, a little texture. These are fit campy levers really well. If you'll throw in a set of these, be like, oh, they're kind of tearing in the old stock, and they're way more comfortable than any hoods ever made for campy. 2 campy front derailleurs, one vintage 70s Super Record. Tell us got the black on it, the cutouts. Novo. Well, it's pretty nice to me. I mean, it's dirty and it's, it's fairly well used, but still pretty nice. Another Novo. That's funny, I have a couple of Novos. I pulled off some bikes recently, those were put up for sale. I really like Novo record derailleurs. I think sometimes I talk about the pre-CPSC and the post-CPSC. So the pre, which I think is like some racing rules back in the day for safety. So the post has this little lip right here on the end of the derailleur. The pre is totally flat, which is really nice for really compact cranks like TA cranks. You can really get that crank like a millimeter away from this front derailleur while you come around, but you can't do that with these later ones. There's just not enough clearance to get them to shift these tight little rings. That's really common on the brakes. The same with the brakes, the little quick release levers are totally flat, and the post stuff, they had to make them domed, make them slightly safer and whatnot. Here is a weird, cool Zeus cable guide. Clamps around your seat tube and does your bottom bracket rock cabling. Zeus, which is like a Spanish brand, it's kind of a campy ripoff. Did some cool stuff. Here's another set of campy out bump shifters, super dirty and crusty, but complete and not rusty. Just needs a little bit of cleanup. And they're braze-on. That's cool. Usually about $25 for campy shifters. Here is a Campagnolo English threaded cup bottom bracket. Well, it's got the more modern, like Victory-ish logo on it. But I don't know. I'll have to look at it, make sure it's not dead or too crusty, but campy bottom brackets are always great. We're always looking for those. One Novo record rear derailleur. So I really scored it. Oh, someone's put 70s Shimano pulleys in. Replaced the pulleys. It's normal, campy stuff cracks. These are definitely just 70s logos. Pretty era correct. It's a patent 73. It looks pretty clean. I was kind of thinking about maybe using one of these on the 1960 Allegro when I do it. These short cage, old campy Novo record friction derailleurs can fit with shockingly huge freewheels. I've never had them max out. I put some pretty big stuff on. So maybe it's real dirty and that grease is real old and stained. It might take a lot to get it clean. It's all complete, the bolts, everything. It's nicer than what I got. Here's a new old stock in the bag. Action Tell 22 tooth titanium 64 millimeter bolt circle. Ringle gear. Okay. I thought it looked weird. Is this used? Actually, a titanium 22 tooth 4 bolt interchain ring. I don't know. This is nerd. Some guy who thinks he's a weight weenie on his weird mountain bike is gonna want this real bad. Titanium teeth wear out real fast, but I guess probably not as fast as aluminum. And way lighter than, God, it doesn't weigh anything. I thought the bag was empty at first. This is nerdy. I didn't realize how cool that was. Ah! Another bin. Okay, now I'm starting to get cold, so it's drying. Cat-Eye, Japan, brown rubber. Another bin of old bar plugs. Most will probably go in the trash, whatever. This is the first thing I saw when I walked up. I eyeballed this a couple of times. Here's a set. Oh, they're vintage. I thought these were MKS at first. They're vintage Zeus track pedals. And it says French, keep to test cranks. I have cheap French pedals. I will use those instead. These have alloy cages. Dude, it's a real nice campy ripoff with the Zeus logo right in the middle. Patent Zeus, made in Spain. Chromoly spindles, flat dust caps. Flat cages, Zeus track pedals, you're nuts. You're nuts. These are going right on eBay. Holy moly. This is what first grabbed my attention. This is all, I think, mostly mismatched TA tandem crank arms. I love TA cranks. They're the prettiest. Let's look at some of them. So TA, this one's a 180. This one's a 1725. It says RBSE, so maybe the pedals are right, BSE. They all have dust caps, and the dust caps are worth 10 or 20 bucks. Look at these gorgeous stickers. Thin, aluminum and polishy, even old and scruffy. I mean, they made these from, I think, the 30s up through the 70s, maybe even later. TA remade all their rings again in the 90s, and I was buying new stock rings for a while. There's a couple. What else we got in here? This one used to say something on it, a 175. A bunch of these are new old stock. This has never been pressed on a bike. A horrible 3-arm one in 170. But it's cool, it's new old stock. Here's a little guy, a 160. That was a cool thing about TA. They made all the sizes. I got some 160 TAs for a friend's bike who was real short. I made her a handmade rando 650 bike. Dust cap is used. They've never been pressed on. Someone might have written French on here, Sharpie back in the day. Ardazi. Here's another 172.5 drive side. Never been pressed on, so I'm going to have to test them to see. I know a lot of this stuff's tandem. It would be real cool if there's happened to be some matching sets. Some cool stuff in here, but these are both say W1725. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Okay. I don't think there's any matching sets. It's a shame, but I used to hoard all this stuff, and every once in a while. Here's a 170. Here's a real old one. So this is the real old ones. They had a dust cap on the back, and they polished through, so you couldn't even tell. So a lot of the French ones are like that. You have to tap that dust cap out, like punch it out with a punch, and then if you want to retap these things, you can tap French to English, no problem. So here's a 170. Here's a, this one says FDAR, so some marks on it. So it's probably a tandem front. 165. This 170's been pressed on at least once. So I am now the guy with random TA mismatched crank arms. 170 GW. I think that says tandem in old Sharpies. Another 170 GW. This one also 170 DWF tandem. So I mean, there might be a whole complete set of tandems. This one's been pressed on once, this one's been pressed on once, this one's never been pressed on. It's non-drive. Fancy! Fancy! Here is another 170 GW. This one has been pressed on. Someone used too big an extractor tool and scratched up the crank a little bit, doesn't really matter. LF. Someone's a little rough. Someone's a little rough on this guy. Not too bad. One Shimano down tube shift cable box. And then in the bottom of this bag is a bunch of TA chainring bolt sets. I think they are all singles, which you could use as pistas, or you can just use for the outer chainring. These things are cool. The tiny 50.4 BCD bolt circle. The outer ring presses on and then bolts on, and the inner ring bolts to the outer ring with the spacer. And then you could do that. You could do single rings, compact doubles, because I make all the rings every size. I have these on my rando bike, and I have a 44-28 compact double. I've gone smaller, I've gone bigger. You could do triples. The triple hardware is the rare thing. And I usually, whenever I find those, I put them on eBay and get real money for them really fast. I had a friend do a 4x4. Graham did 4 TA chain rings on his TA cranks once. And he also did 2 double pole levers with 2 sets of brakes on the bike. It's four brakes, 4 front chain rings. So this is cool. That's exciting. What else is in here? Run off tensioner, up better share notes, $15. Some chain tensioner in here it looks cool. It looks like CNC machined, and it's got some spacers, it's got a bolt, Tarks lower, Tarks upper, just some weird CNC single speed chain tensioner thing. It's really light. It's really cool. It's very 90s, very mountain bikey. It's pretty short cage, just for holding the chain tight, so the chain doesn't slip in vertical dropouts. I'm trying to do a single speed. It's cool. It's cool. I like it. I like it. I'll sell it to somebody. Someone might think this is cool. Maybe it was cool back in the day. Someone's looking for it. Probably not. That's you. Sorry. Today. Oh my god. Grabbed some chain rings. Here is a totally worn out, made in Italy, Brad Campagnolo 39, so it's more like a late 80s, early 90s ring. It is completely dead. I put it on the outside like a single speed, and then that side's like brand new again. And I do have some Campy cranks from this era that I might make into a single speed. I want a bigger ring. 39 is crazy for a fixie, but whatever. That might be the thing to do, and I have to waste a good ring. Here is a Sagino Mighty Competition 47 tooth, 1/8 inch track chain ring. This is fucking hot. It says 151 BCD on it. There's not a lot of guys using those old 50s and 60s and maybe some early 70s 151 stuff, so this may not sell on eBay. I had a bunch of other 151 track chain rings. No one cared. One person bought one and then immediately returned it out saying why. Probably because they didn't realize. They didn't read the description or look at the photos. Here's a weird Shimano 49 tooth chain ring. It's 1/8 inch track, 49. Forged chain ring in Japan. It is really weird. It is thick. It almost looks modern, but it's clearly from like the 70s. But the machining and the stamping and this weird lip. The back's all machined. I don't know what this is. This is cool as shit. But it's 144 BCD. This is cool. This is cool. I'm guessing it's from the 70s. Who knows? There's one set of drifters up on the top. They're Dura Ace. They look like 7700 to me. Yeah, 7700 is the Dura Ace 9-speed. This is the only stuff I like. But I never use the drifters, and I didn't check them to see if they're any good. So I'll play with them and see. If not, I'll sell them for parts, or you can spray these things out with WD-40, then spray them out with silicone-based lube. And the BioShield silicone. People say any silicone, but I haven't had any luck with anything other than the BioShield, like T9. Spray them out with that stuff, and usually it'll free up any little stuck pawls and springs. It softens up the old Shimano grease. It kind of turns to wax and brings them right back. So these might be worth something to somebody. They might be cool. I got this aluminum single-speed cog. I have no idea. It's narrow wide, it's black, it's aluminum, it's real thick. These are usually machined to like fit over a cassette body to convert your 8, 9, 10 speed cassette into a single speed. I should probably go grab a hub and slide it over and make sure it's not for something weird and specific. No idea what this is. Here's a crazy JTech shifter. It bolts over your bars instead of inside. Drop bar shiftery thing. It's probably for some internal hub or something weird. I have no idea, but I grabbed it. It was just in there, so I don't have to grab it. Throw it in the bottom of the bag and have it disappear forever. There was one, oh, it's a Raleigh branded patent Sun Tour Barcon. And it's got the little nut that's always missing, the little tension nut. It says Raleigh on the boot. Otherwise, these retro friction power ratchet Sun Tour shifters are the best shifters ever made, and they are always highly desirable. I got a little baggie. This little baggie here is a Campy top tube double cable stop clamp on. So this will be used with bar end shifters, or you can use it with thummies now. That is hot. Here is a top tube cable guide. Here's a top tube cable guide. Oh yeah, all 3 top tube cable guides. They're always missing one or missing screws, or I got a bunch of mismatched ones at home. And the bottom bracket clamp on cable guide. Cool, old 70s bikes. You want to make them all camp-tastic. Most of us sell all this stuff. I'm a frame builder. I just add braze-ons to stuff unless the paint's like real nice. I build it up all cracked, but stuff's too nice. I used to write a lot of old 70s campy stuff because those best frames ever made. Those Reynolds 531 frames, campy dropouts, and it was the best old vintagey stuff. But I do neo retro, but a little bit more modern, nicer, better working parts. And I do all the braze-ons on frames and get it painted. So whatevs. Oh, here's another set. I think this is the last thing. Oh, nope. Here is a bag of Simplex retro friction shifters. I gotta look at these first. These are my favorite vintage shifters. They really are only for like 2x5, 2x6, getting the pull, 8 speeds, almost impossible. Getting pull triples, like impossible. So here is one complete set. I'm kind of thinking about making like a braze-on onto a handlebar for these with like a little stop sitting up with a barrel adjuster. That would be really hot on that Allegro, you know, to do like a chrome upright bar with Simplex retro friction thummies. Sick. And I guess I could, this is 22.2 ID, I could get some like 1-inch tube that's like 7/8 ID and make an actual band on the whole thing. Make something look like it's from the factory. But here's one complete matching set of Simplex retro frictions with little Simplex words on the front. And here is one complete matching set. Bolts and everything. Oh, it's got a campy bolt on this side. The washer on backwards. No dust cap, so not complete. I usually just take the stock bolts out anyways and put in a 20mm normal M5 Allen head bolt because they don't slip, they're easier to tighten, and they don't have to use a screwdriver. So yeah, this is missing a little dust cappy thing. That's sad. I do have, these also came labeled as Mavic in the 80s. These also came with like a beautiful sunburst giant Simplex pattern on them. I have one of those at home. Okay, I love me Simplex retro friction. They're pure friction, but they have like a spring, and the way the compression plates are, they don't ever slip. So you pull them, they shift real smooth, they stay in place. They're wonderbar. Opposite of these campy shifters. One more campy bag. Here is a set of patent campy bump out with the cable stops, down tube clamp on shifters. All chrome and nice. These will clean up really well. There's a bottom bracket cable guide for them, and a full set of crank bolts and a single campy dust cap. So I got some real scores, man. This old vintagey stuff drives me nuts. So that is it. That is my Sunday Salvage Sales. I spent $50 today. I think I scored like crazy on all this stuff. And the mats. I mean, God, those mats are probably a couple $100 a piece, brand new. I see them used all the time as stall mats. So I think that horses have pooped on them. They're like 40 or $60 a piece, and don't go buy them. But he said they're probably getting rid of them, so they're downsizing. Getting rid of a couple overpriced storage units. So this is exciting. I really need at least one more. But 2 more, and the lamest the long way would be sick. I guess I gotta clean all this up and put it away, and I'm probably out of time. Maybe tomorrow I'll start on get these Ira Ryan dropouts in the stays I made. I don't know if you saw my pictures on Instagram. But I did this little picture montage. I made a custom dimpling tool out of a plumber's elbow at the hardware store for $2, a $1 bolt. I drilled and tapped the plumber's elbow, threaded the bolt in, cut the head off the bolt, bolted up into my arbor press, and started doing some practice dimples. I dimpled some chainstays, dimpled the chainstays for my new bike. And I just have to do the miter, braze in these dropouts, and then clean up the actual frame using a dummy bottom bracket. It's the same bottom bracket, but not the one for my frame. And I had to do quite a bit of filing on the inside of the chainstays to fit. Clean up the actual frame, get them all slipped in, get them brazed into place, see how this jig does. Sometimes I've had jigs that absolutely pull your chainstays or suck one in. It's very annoying. So I'm gonna probably fully braze one and tack it and check it and see. A lot of guys will drill their chainstays in the bottom bracket shell and put a little nail in there to hold it in place so it can't go back and forth. So I need to see if I need to do that. If that's a step, or if this 80/20 aluminum jig is straight enough to where I can just tack them in and they'll be totally legit. Probably not, but who knows. So that will be tomorrow's project. Then tomorrow I might be doing another big. I want to move this bookshelf full of all my bike parts. I want to put it in front of the door. I want to put it on a big, like 2x12, like 8.5 foot long 2x12. It's probably cost me $30 or $40. Put a bunch of rolling casters under it, a locking caster at each end, and get that under this. It's going to block the door. The door can be blocked most of the time. I've had all this other crap in front of it forever. It's only 12 inches instead of like 2 feet like all the other crap. So make it feel more roomy in here. And it's on caster, so I can roll it outside, turn it sideways if I needed to get it out of the way, so we can get big stuff up in and out of here. It's going to be too hard, it'll be a little scary to move, that big shelf, I'm afraid of it falling. But I don't want that shelf just on the ground, so I can move it once in a while, and I don't want that shelf on the ground because water comes in under the door all the time. I don't want to get wood rot and crumble under the, it's just an old plank, handmade shelf from the 80s or 70s that it's probably made to be a bookshelf. Books are quite a bit lighter than bike parts. I probably have a couple 1,000-pound bike parts on it. Those bins are just gonna get fuller. But anyways, that is my video, and I just uploaded one last night, this morning? Last night, I guess. Getting drilling out stock chainring bolts. I uploaded one on this cool commotion frame I got, and everything I know about KMPC record and how to take the cranks and bottom bracket out. That was fun. So I did it really tired. Sorry, it's a little goofy. The spelling's all wonky. The video doesn't make much sense. It's a real tired. I just want to get it off my phone. But yeah, once I get this bike built, I think I'll be in good enough shape. I'm remembering everything's coming back to me. This jig's easier than I even thought. I think I'll make maybe like a how-to install, build a custom bike frame video. Probably do 10 or 15 parts on it. The other way, because I put 80 hours into every bike frame I make, so if you guys don't want to watch an 80-hour video, make a 10 or 15, 30-minute ones or something. Whew, getting stuff done. I've also been uploading a bunch more stuff to my eBay, a bunch of this will go to my eBay. Check out my eBay. Check out my online store. I got a bunch of really overpriced frame building stuff and some stickers and stuff. Support my work. Keep me in business so I can keep making more cool videos, because I ain't famous. I got like 600 and some odd followers. I think you have to have like 16,000 before you can monetize your videos. Even then, it's only like pennies until you're like real famous. Paul Brody, you guys follow him? He's another frame builder, does a lot of really cool videos. I watched a bunch of his. He's an old time builder, he does cool, crazy stuff. He did a video a little while ago on the monetization. He's got a ton of followers, he gets a bunch of thousands of views and likes every video now, and he's making $4,000 a month from his videos. That's wild. That'd be amazing. If I did that, I'd never do customer work again. I'd just be building bikes. Someday when I'm rich and famous, I make enough money off that, I'll just build bikes and mod out finished frames and just put them up as freebies to my members or something. Get subscribers and all that cool stuff. Cool to do. So we'll see. I've also got this old Italian bike I want to turn into a fixie so bad. I need an Italian bottom bracket share. It's narrow. I need to figure out what cranks I want to use. So many projects. Anyways, that's this video. I got a bunch of people emailing me who want some work, so maybe none of them showed up. Christmas and crazy, so maybe someone will show up and we'll have some cool videos and some customer projects. So thanks for watching.